Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44. You can also get me on my Facebook page, True Divine 44, BitChute, True Divine 44, and it is the True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter. Any likes, shares, subscribes, comments are greatly, greatly appreciated, and much love to everybody who is doing that thus far. I appreciate you all more than you know. So I put out as much free content as I can. This is part of the playlist, which is the writing on the wall. This incorporates any of my psychic knowings, my ponderings, my intuitions, research, all of those wrapped up into one video sometimes, bringing them to you just to open up conversation, just to open up dialogue regarding issues that we face, or the way that we might be feeling, or energies, how to go about transmuting energies, all of the above and more. So this is writing on the wall for the biggest trick of all. And so I started making notes, and obviously we've spoken about this, and many others greater than I have spoken about the problem of division. And so the two biggest tricks of all that I see is the illusion of division and the illusion of supremacy. And people might jump on that and say, but there is supremacy and there is division, so it's real, it's not an illusion. By that I mean that they as in the archonic energies, give us a reason to be divided. It is us that make that reason real by putting energy into it, by enough people becoming racist at any one time against another part of society, but for a layer of skin and pigmentation, which is so silly when you think about it. Something so thin, when you look at the meat of us, the entirety of us, everything that we encapsulate, the expansion that we are capable of, the potentials, the limitless potentials that we have as beings, that some energies could come along and literally make the thinnest layer of all of that, as in the skin, be a problem. And so it is from an illusion that many or enough people put the energy into it to make it seem real, and actually seem so real that it has real consequences. The same with supremacy. For me, supremacy does not naturally exist. We have created it as so, in that, energies are put out there to create. Maybe, for instance, you look at a boss who wants to be sort of tyrannical over his staff. It would only have to look out for one person on the team, maybe two people on the team, and feed their ego enough, noticed even subconsciously that they haven't done enough inner work. So they've got rampant ego that is out of control. And so they would then, give them a stroke to that ego, give them praise, maybe give them a perk here or there, maybe give them a rise, that is totally undeserved. But this boss knows that these people, these energies within his company, will do as he says, regardless of how harsh it may seem. And so it only needs very few to create something that is made up of an illusion, because that boss has never really had supremacy over somebody. He needs his staff for his business to survive. And neither have those beings that he's going to bribe, i.e. to be tyrannical on his behalf by stroking their ego with extra money, extra praise, etc. It's created, and it only takes the energy of all of those components, all of those beings, all of those people, to put enough energy and intent into it for it to become still an illusion, yes, because they don't really have supremacy, but they can create enough of an illusion of supremacy over the other staff that the staff then put energy into it to make that supremacy real. They start acting subservient. Why? Because there's fear. There's fear in there that they won't be provided for if they walk out of a tyrannical job. So you can see how this, like a pebble in the river, would expand out and out and out throughout societies, throughout communities, throughout countries, throughout the world, throughout the realm that we live upon. And so that's where we are at, in that this is one of the greatest tricks of all, in my opinion. Sowing the seeds of dissent, sowing the seeds of division, sowing the seeds of perceived supremacy. And with that being said, they have managed to harness the energy of all of that chaos. And the beings that have been the puppets to allow them to do so work real hard to do so, because in their eyes, the perks, because they've gone so far from the divinity, the perks are made worthwhile. So they'll fight to the death for it. Even they'll be taken in by the trick that they are actually superior, that they are actually of a line that makes them a superior race amongst these people, these animals beneath them. And so that's where we see ourselves today. And so I'm just looking at my notes here. So the fact that they had the ability to, or they had the seed to make us feel unequal, we had the ability to then harness that feeling of unequalness. And I don't know if that's a word. It made us be distracted enough to not recognize, not truly recognize, truly deeply conceive the idea that we are connected to the all, and where we all and things, trees, have various different roles within that connection to the all. It is actually all an equal relationship. One thing needs the other to survive. It's a symbiotic relationship when it isn't interfered with. And so that is a huge, huge trick. And from that, like that pebble in the river, they've managed to expand this out further and further into the realities that we're now living in today. So they've given the seed and the ability for a few to harness the fact that they can cause the illusion of owning power via government. You know, it's a who you are kind of game, and who's who and what family you're related to as to how well you do in government, in politics. And so, but you know, at the top, there is no division. This is why it's the illusion. It's one of the greatest tricks, in that it's owned by one. Both sides are owned. And even within both sides, to create this division even further, to feed this idea of division, this illusion of division, they'll create conflict within that one government. They'll create conflict within it so that people on the ground take sides, affiliate with colours, and they'll literally, I mean, we see people hurting others physically for a side that they have taken, to defend an ideal of people that they haven't even met, to defend a system, a government that is actually, from the moment it began, proven that it does not have the best interests of the people at heart. It'll seem to be, it'll create the illusion of being so, but it is owned by one. It is owned by, already we've been living in a one world government. You know, it's crazy to think that that is new. They're going to rebrand it as they rebrand everything. They're going to rehash it, just like fashion. Eventually, if you keep a pair of jeans, eventually it's going to come back into fashion. And then you've got a vintage pair of modern jeans. you know, so they will rebrand it, they will retitle it, but it's the same idea. So it's important for us to dissect these knowings, to dissect this information so that we can see it, so that they don't have the capability to create this perceived division, this perception of supremacy, that one side feels better than the other because of who they affiliate with or who they defend, because of certain very short speeches that they've heard. And so then they own religion. One side owns all of the religions, this archonic energy that, you know, all of the religions are actually no different than the other. Yet people will behead others for the sake of their own religion. People will go to the depths of depravity to defend a religion that, yet again, there's enough information out there to show that religion, organized religion, has not had the collectives, even the collectives that they serve, they haven't had their health and well-being at heart. It's been something else just to create this division and this immense amount of lower frequency energy, lower frequency power, to further feed into these illusions of division and supremacy. They own the distraction market, i.e. the entertainment. Track it back enough, and it's a very few names that own entertainment. And so, you know, right up to the top, again, archonic energy, creating illusions of movies, of TV series, of adverts, so that we have been living in, for a lot of people, they're living in the Truman Show. You know, they're being pummeled with a false reality that they sort of by proxy are living through. Again, being distracted from this perceived division and supremacy, the illusion of division and supremacy, and being distracted from the divinity and the connection to the all and the equal to the all. And so then we have the fact that they own illness, and they'll even put a veil over it to show that it's that they own health and well-being. Yes, they do, but they don't want health and well-being. They want to limit life. They want to create illness because they want to weaken the system of the collective who have this connection to the all. This archonic power does not continue to exist, you see, once enough people wake up to the fact that it exists and stops being fooled into these illusions and these seeds of division and supremacy. Poof, cease to exist. It would be crazy fast. So it's important for us to look at this. It's important for us to digest this information fully. And it's a sober moment, actually, when you do stop to digest this information fully, because you realize that if you're somebody who is just waking up to the prospect of this, or is starting to consider the prospect of this, you know, in the early stages of dissecting this kind of information, then you can see how a lot of people will fall to their knees. You can see how a lot of people, even those who seem to do quite a lot of spiritual work, quite a lot of inner work, or even those who have seemed to be quite balanced and quite spiritually advanced, and as they've been doing real inner work and not being attached to these divisionary tactics, you know, sexual orientation, even they've created through the entertainment and distraction industry, they've even created those sides of genders against genders, you know, and this, you know, these few people being allowed to be the puppets for them to create supremacy over certain groups, you know. So there is that reality that was created, that people who were gay or lesbian were punished, were hurt, You know, we're having chemical castration. It's crazy. So it has very real physical impacts and causes very real wounds. But the seed of it, the actual perception of it, is an illusion. It's just the energy is harnessed just by enough people to create that supremacy and division, and it becomes very real. And so you can see how this is very difficult for people who are in these early stages of dissecting this information or starting to understand this, because you realize that all you have left really is what you've been working on within. So if you haven't been working on that within, then it feels like you're facing off the face of the world, and you are, because that world does not exist. Yet your brain is telling you it does, because it's all you've ever known. All you have left outside of that is, nature, who does not give a hoot regarding, the animals. They do not give a hoot about the distractions and these seeds of dissent and seeds of division and supremacy. They know their role and they just continue on. It's this human being that can be particularly harnessed by this archonic energy. And so this is the important message about the continuous inner work, about the continuous work on self, about the continuous expansion of self. Because with that, it means you can face even the craziest of ideas. That I'm speaking this out today, and right now in particular in 2020, I would be labeled the crazy one. I would be labeled the one that was speaking out of illusion, because the energy that we have put behind as a collective, behind these seeds of division and supremacy, is crazy. If you look at it that way, if that's what our energy can achieve, if it can build a whole world that is actually based on illusion, Hollywood, mainstream media, the law system, the wars, the supremacy, the racism, the religion, if that's what our energy builds when it's harnessed, goodness knows what kind of reality we can build if we harness our own energy for our highest good. Imagine if many of us were pummeling out that kind of energy, those kind of building blocks. And then our energy bouncing off the next person's who's doing the same inner work, who's bouncing that energy out, who's emitting a frequency that is so innovative, that is so creative, that is so pure, that is so driven, so passionate. Imagine what kind of world we could build. Imagine the ideas and ideals we could come up with to make sure that everybody manages to maintain what they need to maintain in a comfortable manner, i.e. everyone having food to eat that is good, that actually nourishes this body, nourishes this car that we're in right now to experience this physical reality. Imagine if we were here as the generation, if this was it, if this is it, where we are the ones that actually managed to finally lift the veil, open the trap door of that pineal gland, that third eye, but not just within ourselves, out in the external, in the reality, so that the children growing up behind us literally are growing up seeing through that trap door, seeing through that enlightenment via the lens of the adult that is in care of them. Imagine the kind of reality that would create. the song that's going through my head is Imagine All the People. It's easy if you try. I don't know if that's, no, is it no hell below us, above us only sky? It's actually quite potent, that song. It's just popped into my head now, actually, that is about it. And then it is our energy thereafter as to what we create and build. Listen to that song and take in what I've said in this video and see what you think. Leave a comment as to what that song does to you after you've joined in this discussion with me. You know, let me know, because to me that is just a bit like, I can't wait to listen to that now. I wish I could put it on here, but it'll probably get shut down. So do that and leave a comment. I'd be super interested to hear from you, awesome dudes and dudettes, as to what that does to you after you've considered this discussion. So it's important that we do this. And this underlines the importance of the inner work, the importance of the exploration of our inner world before we even consider, you know, exploring the outer world. And actually, from exploring the inner world truly, from being that intrepid explorer of the within of yourself, you don't even actually have to try and then create the world outside, because it's from this walk, it's from that hermit journey to your within, to your lower and higher frequency aspects of self, that actually the reality outside of you just falls in line, gets in line. It does as it's told, from the directions and the feelings that you are emitting from within, the frequencies that you are emitting from within. Hey, Theodore.
Everything looks grey for some reason on the screen.
Everything looks grey, yeah.
Why has this happened?
Because Mummy decided it was a black and white message. That's it.
Why do I put this?
You finished your grapes? Okay. Well, I'm finishing this video and then I'll get you some more, okay?
Where do I
just right here. We'll put it right here. I'm finishing the video right now. And there's a buzzer to say why I'm finishing the video.
No.
So professional.
No, my food game.
So thank you for listening. I appreciate all of the comments. I appreciate the fact that you're even here listening. Please, if it resonates with you, like it and share it. That really helps. Speak to your sister. Other than that, I'm wishing you much love, balance and wholeness. I appreciate you all. And thank you for allowing this to be a family show. Otherwise, I couldn't put these videos out. So phones ringing, kids coming in. It's usually only Theodore coming in, to be fair. But that is Theodore. So thank you for appreciating the fact that I have a family. And as a single mother, they come in the office thick and fast. There's no room out of bounds in this house. No room out of bounds. You know, I sometimes sit in the loo for a little extra longer than I need to, you know, just pretend I'm washing for a little bit longer than I need to. And then I can meditate. Those are my minutes. Those are the minutes I grab. So I appreciate it that you just join in with these minutes with all of us, especially Theodore. Okay, say goodbye. Bye. Where's the button?